Like lightning, out of nowhere, comes the Animal Crossing New Horizons update. The best selling original game on Nintendo Switch is getting new features and new updates, which of course is going to guarantee its continued success and longevity until the next game comes out. So, this is a very good example of how the giant cope that Nintendo Switch 2 has no games, how that was always destined to fail. Like, not only did Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom do very well with their updated re-releases, those style of Nintendo Switch 2 upgrades was going to be extended to other releases as well. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. We could see Mario Odyssey. We saw Super Mario 3D World, and now we're getting Animal Crossing New Horizons, and not like an insignificant update either. We're getting new content and new features exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2. So of course, like the 40 million people who play Animal Crossing New Horizons regularly are going to pick that up. But the thing that interests me about this, the thing that really gets to me is that for years we have been told that Nintendo hated Animal Crossing New Horizons, that they left it to die, that there was nothing left to do in the game, that the community was frustrated with Nintendo's inability to add new content into the game. And, like, first of all, that wasn't true. And second of all, it's Animal Crossing. Like, what are you even talking about? Like, oh, Nintendo isn't updating this game with new content. Like, Animal Crossing conceptually is a game that you're supposed to play for years. Okay. I was seeing people complain there was nothing more to do in it like a couple of weeks in. Okay. I know, like, I remember when, like, Delrith from the Angry Joe show, remember that guy, the man child. I remember how he, like, set up his island to, like, min max and, like, buy everything in the game, and then he's just like, oh, there's nothing more to do. There was no consideration given to, like, how he wanted to set up the island, what he wanted to do, how he wanted, like, what he wanted to do next. It was always just this, like, well, I have everything in the game and the credits rolled, so it's over. Like, that's not what the game is about. That's kind of my mentality on it. Whenever these videos crop up from people, like, acting as if Nintendo doesn't support this game, it's like, this game is endless because of the nature of it, because of how it works, because of just its unique features and what this game is. Like, it doesn't really end. And the idea that people have that, like, well, I hacked the game and I got unlimited bells and I got all the furniture I wanted, like, you're missing the point. Like, again, you're not playing the way the game it was meant to be played. And we're supposed to listen to these people when it comes to, like, the general structure and, like, what this, like, how well received this game actually was. Because for the past several years it feels as if a lot of people have been saying that Animal Crossing New Horizons was this terrible, awful game because of these kind of allegations of, like, tryhards who put thousands of hours into the game, crying about how there's nothing more to do in it. Like, Nintendo needs to give us updates. They need to give us a new game. They need to do more stuff. Like, they are completely out of touch, delusional, right? It was completely unnecessary. There was nothing really there to justify their continued copes, right? It was just an excuse to downplay the original Nintendo Switch's absolute high point. The most popular game on the console has been relegated to something that tryhards complain about because after thousands of hours, I have nothing more to do. It's ridiculous. And I've called this out, like, I've been calling this out for years. I've been seeing videos like this for years. So to see an actual Nintendo Switch 2 update, to see them adding new content and features to it, like, it is a complete boat anchor on that stupid narrative that never should have taken hold over the community to begin with. And now, of course, you're seeing people, like, complain about it. You're seeing people like say that like it should have been a free update, or that they should do more, or that they should just put out a new game, or that they're never going to put out a new game because of like they can just update it, completely forgetting the fact that 3D New Leaf also got an update just before New Horizons came out. Like shockingly before, well, yeah, like it was like what, 3 4 years later when people were expecting a new game. Like people don't understand. Like Animal Crossing doesn't need endless installments. Like, like we've gotten like what, like 5 6 of these games like over the past 20 years, 25 years, right? Like this has never been a series that has needed endless console releases, right? Like the occasional new game on a new console, like once a console generation is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's my mindset looking at Animal Crossing and its legacy and just seeing what people are saying and doing and what they're playing. Like this is a series that is one of Nintendo's all-time greats. So, like, you don't necessarily need new installments because of how these games are structured, how they're paced, what you're supposed to do in them, right? To me, I feel like the try-hard nature of the community, like, is completely antithetical to the actual values and tone of Animal Crossing. Like, you stop playing when you want to stop playing. That's kind of my mindset when it comes to like the Animal Crossing series, right? Like you don't need like these endless like releases, sequels, updates. Uh like and people just keep like, and when we do get them, like what ends up happening is that people end up crying about them. I grew up being told that City Folk was a terrible Animal Crossing game. I really liked it because the primary complaint that people had about it, that it was too similar to Wild World, did not apply to me because I do not and never have had played Wild World. So like for me, I really, really enjoyed City Folk, and New Leaf is my favorite in the series still, but like New Horizons is something I've come back to recently, even before the update. And I've really, really started getting into the game 5 years later, like, maxing out my house, like trying to raise my town rating, doing all this stuff, and I'm finding that I'm really, really enjoying it. 5 years after release, I'm still regularly playing New Horizons. And obviously I took a bit of a hiatus because I didn't like New Horizons as much as New Leaf, but at the same time, the game is still very, very fun and very, very enjoyable. And I have to ask that, like, the community, I think, puts too much stock in this idea that the series needs this. Like they never seem all that happy with what they get or what they don't get or what they already have. Like it's something that I feel very strongly about. Like play other games. It's kind of my advice when it comes to like people who are like bored of Animal Crossing. Like try something else. Play some Rune Factory. Do something. Okay. Like I like Animal Crossing a lot, but it's never been my favorite Nintendo IP, not by a long shot. And I just don't understand the coping and seething that people have in regards to this IP and everything that happens to it. To me, what I genuinely believe is that it's people who are upset that Animal Crossing is as big as it is, and they have to do everything they possibly can to subvert and destroy it. They do not want this series to be seen as one of the biggest and best in gaming.